Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about, yes, another monochromatic 9-pan palette from ColourPop. This one is called Baby Got Peach, and it's a peach palette. This palette is launching on Thursday, August 22nd. As soon as I get the launch time, I'll put that down in the description box for you. It's usually either 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As soon as I get that confirmed, I will put those details down in the description box. As you can probably tell from my background here looking pretty empty, I am in the process of moving. I'm actually getting ready to move this weekend. So I'm not gonna go through this entire peach collection. There are some other things, couple new things, couple re-promotes. I am wearing all 3 of the new blushes on my cheeks today, along with this this highlighter is from Persona Cosmetics. But today I'm just gonna focus on the palette. I really wanna try to get this out for you guys before the palette launches, even though I am totally in crunch time. My makeup room is just packed in boxes all around me in shambles. But I know a lot of you guys say that you rely on my reviews to help you purchase, and I don't wanna let you down. So I'm gonna try my best to get this video out for you soon. With that being said, I am just talking about this palette because I do wanna do some in-depth swatch comparisons and things like that. This palette, of course, will be retail priced at $12 US, just like all the other 9-pan palettes. It does have their standard packaging for these palettes, the heavy-duty plastic with a lock and clasp closure, and there is a nice mirror inside. There are a few things that are different about this palette, and I want to point them out to you. First of all, as you can see, we are getting the shade names pictured on the back. We do have 2 shades here that have the eye safety warning. Neither of these are new shades. These are currently existing. The Pressed Glitter Hungry Ghost, and then this bright peachy pink shade in the center called Centerfold. These were both already existing, and as you can see, those are marked with that not for use in the eye area warning. However, something that I want to point out here, they did put the shade names next to the pans. They pretty much always do that now, but they put that star next to the printed shade names next to the pans. I think this is in response to people complaining that they didn't notice the warning on the back. I'm really happy to see that they're putting that eye warning more front and center for people. This is really encouraging for me, and this is probably one of my favorite things about this palette, but we'll get into the review later. First, let's just go into the details. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some swatches of this palette, and then we'll do some swatch comparisons. As always, I will be doing both finger and brush swatches, except for that pressed glitter. I always recommend applying that with your finger, so I'm not gonna do a brush swatch. It's pretty useless. All the other shades will have a finger swatch on top and then a corresponding brush swatch pictured below. I will be using my busted yet trusty e.l.f. flat eyeshadow brush, and I'll clean the brush off in between each shade using my Veramona color switch to prevent transfer between shades. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Baby Got Peach palette swatches now. Just a reminder that the finger swatches are on top and then the brush swatches are below. I was pretty happy with how this swatched. I felt like all the shades performed well with the brush. The only shade that I really struggled with is that matte on the bottom row called Ochre, however you want to say it, Ochre. That one, it was not Ochre with me. Now that you've seen this palette swatched, let's take a look at some comparisons. The first comparison I want to show you is with the Sweet Talk palette. Typically, I don't compare the 9 pans to the 12 pans, but guys, when I was going through my palette collection, I have every single ColourPop pressed powder palette that has ever been released. So trust me when I say this is the best match. If you already have the Sweet Talk palette, you basically already have all of these shades. Just look at these swatches. These are almost an exact match. So that's Baby Got Peach on top, and then the Sweet Talk palette is swatched below. Next, let's take a look at a comparison with the Orange You Glad palette. When I first put these side by side, I didn't think they were gonna be as close as they are. And this is this is pretty darn close in my opinion. The Orange You Glad palette is a little bit more saturated, a little bit more bright. It's sort of like the Baby Got Peach palette is the Orange You Glad palette with the volume turned down. These aren't as many dead-on dupes as the Sweet Talk palette, but they are pretty similar. They're giving me very similar vibes. So that's Baby Got Peach on top and Orange You Glad on the bottom. The last comparison that I want to make is with the Strawberry Shake palette. Now overall, these are not very similar, but there are two shades in here that I do think are pretty close to being dupes. These two shades are from the Baby Got Peach palette, and these two are from Strawberry Shake. So this is the shade Perky compared with the shade Paper Straw. Get Even compared with Berry Fine. I mean, I think these are pretty darn close. These two really look alike to me, in all honesty. Other than those two shades, these two palettes don't really have much in common, but I did just want to kind of throw that out there for you. Some of these regular staple kind of neutral shades are going to be pretty commonly found, not only across the ColourPop palette line, but just in general in any collection. I mean, Too Faced Sweet Peach, Anastasia Soft Glam, like you're probably gonna find a little bit of overlap here and there, but when it comes to full-on color story, Orange You Glad and definitely Sweet Talk are the two major ones worth comparing. Now that you've seen all the swatches, all the comparisons, let's jump into a quick eyeshadow tutorial. I created this peachy look that I'm wearing today, of course, using the Baby Got Peach palette. So let's take a look at that and then I'll wrap up all my thoughts at the end. I am priming my eyes just like I always do with my favorite eye base. It's the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. I do this to cancel out the veins and just give me a nice smooth base to work on. And that's also why I set it with a little bit of just regular face powder. Then for my transition shade, I'm going to be building up two different shades. First, starting with this one called Darlin. This is the lightest peachy matte in the palette, so I just really gently layered that up, focusing mostly on the center part of my crease. And then I went back in with this shade called Perky. This is a little bit more of a brighter, pinkier peach, and I just built that up on top, sort of blending those two shades together so that I would get a really soft, peachy transition shade. Next, I'm going to be using Ready or Yacht. This is a long-time ColourPop favorite for me. Just using my pinky finger and really liberally applying that around the inner corner. Now I'm going to go with Half Baked. This is the deepest shade in the palette. I do wish this was a little bit deeper just to add some more drama to the look, a little bit more dimension to the look, but I added that to the outer part of the eye. Now I'm going to get to work on that lower lash line. I'm just building up this soft peachy matte shade. Then I'm going to go back in with Half Baked, that deeper matte, and on a pencil brush, I'm going to add that to the outer part of my lower lash line. Then taking Get Even, and with my finger, just applied this all over the rest of my lid, curled my lashes, and added some CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara, and that's my finished look. This is just a really go-to, everyday, very easy peachy look. That's definitely what you're going to get from this palette, and I actually really like it. Okay, I have very mixed, complicated feelings about this palette. Like I already mentioned, I'm really glad that they decided to bring those eye safety warnings more to the forefront. I think this is amazing. I hope they continue to do that in all of their palettes. If you've watched my other videos, you know I talk a lot about these warnings. In my previous life, before I did social media, I was a certified ophthalmic technician, and I just saw a lot of people with eye injuries. I worked in a cornea clinic for most of that time, so I saw a lot of corneal abrasions, and it's just, you know, it's bad business. This is part of the reason why I pretty much just hate pressed glitters. I know a lot of people love them. I can't. I don't like pressed glitters. I'm not telling you not to use them. I'm just making you aware that, you know, there is a safety issue. There's a reason why these are marked as not intended for the eye area, because there's no guarantees. Even if you use glitter glue, you still might end up with a chunk of glitter in your cornea, and that's enough of that. So I am glad that they chose to bring that warning a little bit more to the forefront and just make their consumers more aware. That's always a good thing for everyone. There are 3 shades in this palette that are currently existing. The 2 that we talked about with the eye safety warning, Hungry Ghost and Centerfold, and also this shade called Readier Yacht. I really like Readier Yacht. I own it in a single and I use it quite a bit as an inner corner highlight like I did for this look. You know, I prefer it when they release palettes with new shades and then later bring out the shades as singles instead of incorporating existing singles into palettes. That's just me. I don't know. I already have all 3 of these shades, so it's like 1/3 of the palette is not new to me. I really wish that instead of this glitter, we had gotten a beautiful like white to peach duochrome. I would have loved that. Definitely would have preferred that over Hungry Ghost. That may have been a tipping point for me to love this palette instead of just like it. I do like it. I like the eye look. I do think a lot of people are going to be drawn to this color scheme. It's very monochromatic. They definitely got it right there, but I think maybe a little too monochromatic. The shades Perky and Ochre. You have to say it like that, okay? These 2 shades end up looking really similar when they're swatched out. I wish that one of these shades had been just a regular like peachy pink shimmer, or maybe even a little bit of a deeper shade. Half Baked is the deepest shade in this palette, and as you can see, I'm wearing it on my eye and it's not like smoky by any means. So I do think that one deeper shade would have made this palette a little bit more, you know, varied, a little bit more versatile, and it also would have made it more appealing for deeper skin tones, because this is pretty like light medium in color scheme. I'm just so torn because I want to like this color scheme. I love peach. I like the way my eye look turned out. I like the idea of this. I just find myself wishing for something, a little something else. You know what I'm saying? Especially because after doing those comparisons, the fact is that my favorite shades in this palette are Readier Yacht, which I already own, and this shade called Get Even, which if you saw the comparisons, you know that it's pretty much a dead-on dupe for a shade in the Strawberry Shake palette, which I actually really love the Strawberry Shake palette. So it just like diminishes my love for this palette more. I hate to say that. If you don't have Sweet Talk, if you don't have Orange You Glad, and you don't have Strawberry Shake, this might be a good way to get a really condensed, concise version of some of those looks, particularly if Orange You Glad was just a little bit too bold for you. I don't think it's bad, I just don't love it. Ugh, I'm sorry. Sorry, ColourPop. So those are my thoughts, but you know I always love to hear what you guys think about things too. Do you agree with me? You kind of already have a version of this palette from ColourPop, or are you loving this? Is this finally gonna be your foray into peach eyeshadows? I always love to hear all the different opinions you guys have, so please leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. This highlighter is freaking bomb. Persona does not get enough love. So I'm actually wearing 2 of the shades mixed together. I'm wearing Zuma with Laguna on top. Holy crap, but it looks like James Charles photoshopped my highlight for me. Was that shady? I usually never get involved with that. I'm almost sorry that I said it, but it was funny, so. That's the most tea we're getting on this channel. Oh boy. All right, anyway. My poor little, all my palettes are getting packed up. I left my Super Shock shadows just so that I'm scared to pack them, frankly. I don't want them to break. Although I do have a video about how to fix them, so. Anyway. Next. Ma'am. Okay. No matter what palettes I compare to, there's always somebody that's like, you should have compared it to this, you should have compared it to this like random single shadow that's not even available anymore. I can't, I'm one person. Look, I'm moving, okay? I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing, but I'm fine. I mean, my eye look is cute. It's just like, could I have done this with 3 other ColourPop palettes that I have? Yes, I could have. Ugh. Sorry. Like, seriously, Persona did that. This highlighter is sick. And I just like kept putting it all over my face because as I was applying it, I was like, oh. If you don't get that excited about highlighter, then I'm sorry, because I do and it makes me happy. So get on my level. I give up. I give up. Palette has some butt references. Who doesn't love that? Okay, I'm gonna go edit this video instead of packing and doing things that I should be doing because making ColourPop videos is more fun than moving. Okay, wish me luck. Bye.